So how serious are you about your money? How serious is it? So look, first of all, Martin Matthews here. Glad for you to be here on this episode. I want to talk about, are you serious about your money or are you just playing around? Because a lot of people say they are, but are you really? How much time do you actually devote to studying the subject of finances, of money, of economics? You know that economics used to mean the management of a household? Now it's just expanding into all kinds of shit. But if you're not studying a subject, how do you know if you even know it? Well, you check your results and you check your application. Am I applying anything? Am I applying things to get results? So I want you to understand this. Look, so when you start to get serious about money, finances, all these different things, you start to really look around you and say, okay, well, do I have the results I want? Are there certain things I'm going for that I'm not achieving? And are there things that I don't know? So my wife, Chelsea, and I run a financial agency. It's been 27 years now, 27 years experience in the financial industry. When she was 18, she was studying for a Series 7 license at E-Trade Securities. She was the youngest person hired at E-Trade, 18 years old. How many 18-year-olds you know are studying for the Series 7 license, okay? So over time, she's got different licenses. We've had different licenses for different things relating to investments, wealth management, all these different stuff. So we've had thousands of conversations with people, over 15,000 conversations with people about their money and finances, like discussions about their financial goals and objectives, all these different things. And everybody says, I really want to they all say the same thing. I want to make my money work for me. I want to get passive income. I want to build generational wealth. I want to do X, Y, Z. I want to do all these different things. Great. My question always is, what have you done so far? Of all the things you want to do, what have you done so far? And so sometimes they've done some things and sometimes they haven't done anything. And so a lot of times people will come to us and I'm like, okay, so what do you know about money? And a lot of times what it is they may know how to make it. And that's the first step. Everybody should know how to make money. That's got to be your very first step. Okay? If you can't make money, you can't do the other steps. They're like, I want to make my money work for me. Well, if you can't make money, what money are you going to have to make work for you? You're skipping steps because you're not figuring out the step you actually need to figure out, which is how do you make money? Then once you've made some money, you can store that money, meaning you don't consume every single dollar that you make. It's called living paycheck to paycheck, but you're able to store some of that money. You've shown some financial discipline. You can store this money, and now you've shown yourself that not only can I make money, I can actually store some of it. Great. Now you're in a different position. Now you can actually start to make money work for you. And that's where a lot of people get lost, is like, okay, I talk to people every day about their finances, like one-on-one conversations about their actual finances, how much money they have in the bank, how much money is in their investments. These are the conversations we have with people every single day for decades, okay? So we get to understand where people are at financially. And so a lot of times people do step 1, which they can make some money, step 2, which they can save that money, they've been able to accumulate some money, and then step 3, 4, 5, they don't know what the hell to do after that, which is then, how do I strategically put this money to work to actually make it work for me? So if you don't have enough money yet, that's the first thing, you don't skip steps. A lot of people will reach out and like, I want to buy stocks. I'm like, do you realize the stocks? I want to buy stocks and I want to have a business, or I want to grow my business. Like, well, if you're trying to grow your business, why are you buying stocks? Nothing against stocks, but if you're trying to grow your business, why are you buying stocks? You realize that every dollar you put towards some stock, it's a dollar that is not invested in your own business. You are countering your own self. You're not even in alignment with what you say you want. So you say, I want to grow my business, but instead of taking my money and investing in my business, I'm going to take it and invest it in somebody else's business by buying stock in their company. And I don't even know who the CEO of the company is, but somebody told me I should buy stocks. I should get into stock investing. So I'm like, why do you want to buy stocks? I hear I should be investing. Investing in what? Investing in stocks. For what purpose? I watched a video and somebody said I should be investing in stocks. For what purpose? Okay. You see, it's common sense. Once you start thinking about this shit, you start realizing a lot of things you hear people talk about don't actually make sense. And generational wealth is like a buzzword now. Generational wealth. Everybody wants to have generational wealth. You got to build current wealth first before you go build any generational wealth, okay? If you can't build current wealth, you're not going to build any generational wealth. You got to build current wealth. What are you going to do presently, in the present, to then create present wealth, to create generational wealth? You're worried about multiple generations that's not even born yet. That is not, you're doing it out of sequence. And I realize why that is happening. It's happening is because there is no standard, no very clear standard way of how somebody systematically builds wealth. Everybody's got their own standard ways that they're doing it. This one guy over here says, never get into debt. This other guy over here says, get in a bunch of debt to buy real estate. You see, everybody's got their own different scenario of shit. And then in schools, they don't teach you anything about it, so then you don't actually learn. And schools doesn't actually teach you how to evaluate information. So then you don't even know who to listen to. And this is not just in finances. This is in all kinds of shit. One day you hear eggs are good for you to eat. The next day you hear eggs are bad. And you're like, shit, which one I should listen to? What's up, Keith? How you doing, man? What's up, Gino? So he's like, who the hell should I listen to? The guy who says eggs are great, or the guy who says eggs are bad for me? Same thing with fitness. Fitness people got all tons of fucking opinions. And it's confusing as shit. One fitness guy says, do this. Another fitness guy says, don't do this. It's fucking confusing. So then how do you evaluate data? How do you evaluate who's right for what you're trying to do? Both of them may actually even have results. And you're like, that guy's got some good results. I like his results. The other guy got some good results. I like his results. But ultimately, how do you know how to evaluate data? You have to spend time learning a subject. If money is important to you, how much time do you spend studying it? So I grew up in Liberia in West Africa. In the last 3 years in a row is ranked the poorest country in the world. Okay, the average person there lives on less than $2 a day. Less than $2 a day. They make anywhere from $30 to $60 a month in Liberia. That's the average income in the country I was born in. They went through all kinds of war, Ebola, all kinds of shit. And so growing up in Liberia, there's no middle class in Liberia. There's people with some money and there's people with no money. And the people with no money, when they don't have food to eat that day, sometimes they would go to people's houses who have some money and beg them for money. Just literally straight up ask them for money. I got people every day who are in Liberia, reach out to me on social media, just literally just asking for money. Please give me money, please give me money, please give me money. So people used to come to our house every day, every single day, my entire childhood. Didn't matter if it was Sunday, Monday, whatever day it was, Christmas Day, didn't matter. Every single day, somebody would show up to our house, different people, to ask for money. They would meet with my dad and ask him for money. So as a kid, I realized this money shit must be important to people. And then I would watch movies and it seemed like everybody in America was rich. So I just figured everybody in America knew about money. So I came to America and I realized the people in America don't know jack shit about money either. But there's wealthy people here, so clearly somebody knows. The wealthy people know, but the masses don't seem to know. So I realized that wealthy people do spend time learning about money and finances and teaching their kids about money and finances. They're so far ahead of you. Let me give you an example of this. My son just turned 18 years old. I just wrote the 8 things we've taught him about money and finances. A bunch of people shared this on social media, all these different things. My 18-year-old son has more money saved than the vast majority of adults in America. He has more money saved, not for money we've given him, for money he's worked for and he has saved. He is more financially disciplined than most adults in America. Than 99% of adults in America. He's more financially disciplined than that. He has more money saved. He is more financially disciplined. He is fitter. He's in better physical condition than the vast majority of people. How is an 18-year-old beating you? You understand? How is an 18-year-old beating you financially, fitness, and with his discipline? And he cooks. Why is an 18-year-old beating you? You've had a head start. And here's the reality of it. That's what happens because in America, mediocrity is celebrated. What's up, Mr. Hollywood? Mediocrity is celebrated. What's up, Felipe? Mediocrity in all areas. Mediocrity in your finances, mediocrity in your fitness. And I talk about this to myself, by the way. I've never really been fat, but I grew up very skinny. So I'm like, I have to do what is hard. For me, like building muscle was hard. I didn't even know what the hell to do. So I started to learn. Mediocrity is celebrated. Fuck mediocrity in all areas, in your finances, in your relationships, all that. And these are things I constantly work on, by the way. Constantly work on with my wife. Better communication, more efficient communication. How do we do things better? How do I continue to level up to the next higher and higher economic levels? Being dissatisfied where I'm at and then doing it consistently. So look, if money is important to you, you need to study the subject of money. Where does money come from? How does it make its way in society? What are the different types of taxes you have to pay? What's your burn rate? How much money you're burning through? And here's a piece of data that I apply throughout my entire life in any area of my life. This piece of information has been super helpful to me in creating different levels of success in all areas of my life that I apply. The number of times I go over or study something will equal how sure I am about it and will equal my results. I didn't come up with that. It was a wise man who came up with that. His name's Hubbard. So it's the number of times over material, number of times you go over learning something equals your certainty and results. So how much time do you spend studying money, the subject of finances? How much time do you actually spend learning about it? How much time do you actually spend learning about what wealthy people are doing? I'm not just talking about wealthy people you see like on social media, but I'm talking about legacy wealthy. The Kennedys, Rockefellers, these different people, the Morgans. How much time have you spent studying what these people have done and built across multiple generations? If you say, I'm interested in generational wealth, how much time have you spent studying people who have created generations of wealth, where the people who started it, that family lineage, is not even alive anymore? How much time have you actually spent studying that? So one of the things we do is I created a whole program around that. In our programs, we go over all these different things. We do a bi-weekly Zoom call where we dive into all these different subjects. Why? Because the number of times you go over something, the number of times you hear something, the number of times you study something will equal your certainty on the subject and will equal your results. So most people, the way they handle their investments is, even if you have a financial advisor, you meet with them once a year. When have you ever been great at anything you did once a year? Or once every 2 years, or once every 5 fucking years? Some of you never even look at your retirement accounts. I know, I used to be one of those people. I had a retirement account I never looked at. I had it for years. I set it up when I started working at that job. 4.5 years later, I never looked at it. I didn't know what the hell it was doing, nothing. How can you be interested in the subject and you never look at it? How can you be interested in money and you never study it? Or you study it sparingly, or you watch a 30-second video on it? How come you never dive deeper into learning it from people who are actually implementing it? So that's what we do in our programs. Matter of fact, we're doing it so that anybody who wants to work with us, because we teach people how to become their own bank using life insurance, right? So I get questions about this all the time. I've spoken at length about this subject. Get asked all the time. One of the things we'll start doing is for somebody to work with us, for us to set up their policies, a prerequisite is they got to go through our program. If you don't study the subject well, how do I even know you're even ready to become your own bank? How do I know you are even financially ready to even do that? if I don't know anything about your finances, right? So understand, there's prerequisites and things you got to learn first so that you apply. And then when you're studying the subject of finances, you just watch the video and be like, oh, that guy speaks good. Yeah, I'm motivated by that dude. Or what you should really be doing when you're learning or studying a subject is you're studying it so you can fucking apply it. I don't study something to just study it. To just, oh, that's great knowledge. Everything I study is for me to apply. Right now, I'm actually watching a series of prehistoric life, prehistoric fucking dinosaurs. Why am I watching this prehistoric dinosaur series? Because I'm watching how nature was evolving, what they were doing, how they were strategic, how they hunted, everything. I watched that. How does that apply in business? How does that help me in business today? Well, help me think more strategically about how I'm going about my business. You know, the dinosaurs weren't fucking emotional. They had a plan, a game plan, and they had strategies, all these different stuff, and they were very smart. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know they were fucking that smart. So like executing on things. I also started studying about hunters and gatherers, because the reason I study about hunters and gatherers is because hunters and gatherers had to go hunt every single fucking day. They didn't take a day off. If they took a day off, they didn't eat. So I'm like, okay, we've gotten complacent as a society where we want to take the day off. We want to fucking relax. We don't even hunt for our food anymore. We go to the grocery store and buy like spoiled bitches that's like, nobody hunts for their food anymore, right? So how do you keep challenging yourself? The way I do that is like I force myself to go to the gym every day. I wake up early and go to the gym every day. Why do I even wake up early? Because it's hard. I wake up at 4:40 in the morning. I've been cutting it down. Eventually I'm gonna get to 3:40 that I wake up. Why? Because it's hard to do and I wanna keep challenging myself. Going to hunt every day is hard to do. Building wealth is hard to do. Having a great marriage and a relationship is hard to do. If all these things were easy, everybody would do them. But they're not easy. They're hard. And that's why if you don't want to be mediocre, you have to be willing to confront and do hard stuff. Same thing with money. Nobody wants to take the time to study and learn about money, actually apply it. Why? Because it's hard. It requires work. It requires discipline. It requires you to not spend all of the money that you make. It requires you to go out and make money. It requires you to sell people, sell your services to people. It requires all of these things, and not everybody's willing to do that. Because not everybody wants to actually be successful. Even though they say it, but the actions don't match up with what the fuck they're saying. The actions don't match up with what they're saying. If I say I want to get into shape and I don't work out, it means I don't really want to fucking get into shape. It means either I want to stay fat or I just don't have the discipline to do it. And I'm not mad at anybody. I'm just passionate about what I'm saying right now. Studying information and not applying it is mental masturbation. Absolutely. But if you don't know, you're supposed to, anytime I read books, I take notes. How am I going to apply this? Otherwise, I'm fucking wasting time. Why would I waste time? If you say time is money, why would you waste your time? Seriously. If time is important to you and money is important to you, why would you waste time? So if I watch something, every time I watch a movie, I write notes. What am I learning from this damn movie? Is it just entertainment, mindless entertainment, or am I learning something from this? What's that character? I watch a lot of war, like when disaster happens in society. Because I lived through that shit and I watch it so I can see how characters handle things. How do people handle stress? You know, your level and your degree of handling stress helps to determine your level of success. Do you know how much stress it is to run a billion-dollar company? I don't fucking know because I don't run a billion-dollar company. But I imagine it must be pretty fucking stressful because you've got so much riding on your stuff. So you got to be able to handle certain levels of stress. And if you can't handle stress, life will eat you up and chew you out. Same thing with money, finances, all these different things. You've got to be able to be calm, be disciplined, and put things to work. So that's what we teach in our programs. Some of the mindset around money, but ongoing education. You're never going to learn something by just studying it once a year. You have to continue to study and learn. The number of times you study something, the better you become at it. And if you want to become better at money, You have to continually learn and study about it and apply stuff. Otherwise, you just become another person who just watches a bunch of motivational videos and you feel excited about it, and then you don't get the results you're looking for. Even if you make money, even if you make a lot of money, if you're not doing those things effectively, you're missing out on opportunities. Okay, so hey, thank you for watching. I hope this touches you in some way. And if you want any help in these areas, you want to learn, you want to increase your financial IQ, send me a DM and we'll be happy to point you to the different resources we have that you can actually increase what's up here, because nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can steal the knowledge and application you have. That's why if I lost everything, I've lost everything before in my life. When I lived in a war in Africa, we lost everything. If you lose every physical material thing you have, even the clothes on your back, you always have you. You always have what's up here. You have your knowledge and you have your abilities, and nobody can ever take that away from you. That's why that's one of the most important things that you can ever invest in, is your own self and your own knowledge and your own ability, so that you can be able to produce at the highest levels and nobody can steal that from you. You can't lose that as an investment because it's inside of you. Nobody can take it out of you. So anyway, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.